Hello, welcome to AutoSprite. AutoSprite helps you turn a single character image into production-ready animated sprite sheets. In this video series, we're going to be mostly going over how to create animations for our characters, but AutoSprite can do so much more. It can make any game asset, 2D and 3D. It can also create 3D characters, cutscenes, and a lot more. But in this particular video, we're going to go over custom animations. And so yeah, let's get started. Let's just jump into it. So first we launched the app and we're gonna make some custom animations. In our last videos, we did kind of more of the basics and we talked about how to just do the default animations. But in this one, we're gonna do some custom animations. So as we always start here, we just kind of create a new character. So I always like to do the surprise me, which kind of does some random prompt here, and then we can choose something. So let's try this one. A rogue assassin with a tattered cloak. Sounds cool. Let's just go for one more here. Combat robot. That sounds cool. Awesome. This guy looks great. So we're just going to name our character here. So we'll say combat robot. And in this one, we're going to be doing some custom animations. So I do want to give this just a little bit more room to play with because we're going to be doing some cool stuff. If you don't give it enough room to do animations, then sometimes the weapons and things go out of frame. Let's do this. So AutoSprite comes with a lot of pre-baked animations just off the bat. In the last video, we did idle, walk, run, and we showed how to get production-ready assets with these. In this video, we're going to be mostly going over custom animations. So we're going to make maybe kind of a simple custom animation, then we're going to go a more advanced custom animation. So first off, to make your custom animation, we just click Add Custom. Let's do a simple one first. So first we just name it, and I'm just going to say Victory Dance. Now on this screen, these custom animations are all about your first frame and last frame. So we can actually just let AutoSprite handle it. So if we wanted more granularity, we can go in here, and we'll do this for our second one. But for our first animation, let's just kind of go really basic. We'll let AutoSprite handle the frame generation. And all we kind of have to do is talk about what we want it to do. So we can be very, very simple with this prompt. So there's a lot of stuff behind the scenes, which you can make your prompts very, very simple. And you get a lot of really good output here. So let's just say like, does a victory dance. Great. So let's go ahead and kick this off. On this particular one, let's just stick with Turbo. And yeah, we'll just go from there. So I'm going to generate. And then we'll wait just a bit and we'll get this animation. So there we go. We have our custom animation of a victory dance with our guy here. So it looks pretty cool. So if we're happy with this, we can actually go to sprite sheet settings and we can increase the resolution and frame count so we can just kind of see it a little better. So I'm going to re-render there. And there we go. Now we have a slightly higher resolution, more frames thing, so we can just kind of see for this example. Overall, our victory dance is looking really good. So let's kind of up the ante and make it a little more advanced now. So we can see that this particular one only had a custom first frame and not a last frame. So the perfect loop is not perfectly looping. So I'll show us how to make a custom animation where we can perfectly loop the victory dance. So let's see how that works. So I'm just going to make a brand new custom animation. I'm going to call this Victory Dance 2. And we're going to have a custom first frame and last frame. So on our custom first frame, let's go ahead and just say doing a dance. So this one doesn't look like he's dancing too much, so we're going to bump it up a bit. Let's go to Pro. Actually, sorry, we'll go back to turbo and try this one real quick. Doing a dance, hands in the air. You have to kind of push it a little bit to be a little more exaggerated sometimes. Great, we'll go with that. And we can actually save this to poses, so we can use this later if needed. So we'll go ahead and do that. First frame pose of dance. But let's go to the next here. And if we use this, if we use the first frame as the last frame, now we're going to have a seamless loop. So the very first frame of our animation will be this, and the very last frame will be this. And the AI will fill in the between. So let's kind of do the same prompt that we had. Does a victory dance. And let's go for that. Okay, so he could be a little more, but we can go for this for now. So you can see that the first frame and last frame of his dance is there. So we're going to retry this just to maybe we can get more out of it here. So you can see in our advanced redo, we can see our first frame and last frame. Let's say we like those, but we want him to be like more exaggerated, right? So make him dance a lot. Let's just try that, right? And this, we're actually going to bump it up to Pro for 4 seconds. So it gives it more time for him to do things between the first and the last frame. So let's go for that. So here we go. I think this is a much better generation. So you can see it's a perfect loop. So you could have this as an emote in your game where it just loops over and over. So yeah, I think adding more seconds and upping to Pro is the right call here. So great, we're done with that. And then we can see it here as well. So great, so far we have a victory dance where we just let AutoSprite handle it. It just kind of does it behind the scenes. This one we kind of locked in a little better. We kind of had it more custom to the way we liked it. And this is basically a perfect loop. So the first frame and the last frame is the same. So let's do one more custom animation. And this time we're going to do like special attack. And in this one we're going to do the first and the last frame. But we're going to have a very custom first frame and a very custom last frame. So I'm thinking like holding a big sword, crouching, facing right. And I think what we're going to try to do here is he's going to be like crouching with his sword, and then he's going to do a big jump and maybe, you know, crash down and do a cool attack. So let's see if this works here. There we go. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. I'm actually going to save this pose just in case we need it later. First frame pro of crouching, sword. So let's go to the next step. So we're going to generate a unique last frame. So we can actually just choose from pose, but we're going to generate a new frame. So we're going to say, let's see. Flying through the air, sword fully extended. And just know it's going to use this reference frame, so it's going to know what the sword looks like from this. And let's go for that. Let's bump it up to Pro so it does a little different. So great. So let's go into the next now. And now we can see our first frame, he's crouching down. His next frame, he's like jumping and flying. So he crouches and does a jump. Actually, so I guess he's already crouching. So we would just say like does a jump and starts flying through the air with magical energy. Great, so let's see how this works. We're going to try turbo again, and I'm actually going to set this to max just so we have a nicer finished product there. So we'll have our max frames and our max resolution just so people can see it a little better. So we'll go for this. All right, so let's see the special attack. Great. So this is maybe him starting to charge up for a special attack, and then eventually we could kind of continue this animation where he does a final slice down. But we're going to save the more advanced stuff for the future episodes. But for now, we got a basic overview of the custom animations. So just to recap, we had a custom animation where we don't have to type that much. We can just say does a victory dance. We let AutoSprite handle the first frame, last frame kind of stuff. So it just comes out, it just works, it does a pretty good job. The victory dance 2, we set a custom first frame and a custom last frame. And also on this one, we gave it a little more time with the Pro model for 4 seconds. So it has more time and can do more dancing, so it makes a perfect loop and matches. And then we did a more advanced thing here where we set a very custom first frame and a very custom last frame, and then kind of filled in the gaps with our prompt, which is basically jumps and flies through the air. So thank you very much, and stay tuned for more tutorials in the series. Thank you.